Previously on Survivor. After Carson was voted out, John tried to use his relationship with Josie to get numbers.
John is on the line.
This put the quad squad in the middle.
Right now, we have the majority of votes that we can at least flush it out.
Despite being the plan going into Tribal,
I'm voting for Jimmy. Okay.
Josie and John flipped the vote minutes before Tribal Council, causing absolute chaos. In the end, Josie got her way and Jimmy was sent home, becoming the second member of the jury. 7 remain, who will be voted out tonight.
Yeah, last tribal was stressful. I was sitting there and I felt confident in the plan we had, but Jimmy and I were played.
I mean, the vote was kind of just, it was a blur for me. Everything just happened real quick.
That was the most shambly tribal. It went well, but I just barely.
We were gonna vote John out, and then it just all changed, and I felt very left out. The girls came over to the tennis courts, and we basically just did a loop around campus.
And so Shane was telling us yeah, I think we should split the votes between John and Adam instead of just voting out Jimmy. And then I was because I don't have a close relationship with Jimmy, so I wanted him gone.
So I met up with Josie first, and it was just the two of us, and we were both trying to figure out what to do. And she told me that apparently last minute, Shane was having doubts and wanted to go back to the original plan of splitting it between Adam and I.
I told John I would let him know if he was in danger or anything, so I messaged him right after we talked, and I told him, I was make sure he doesn't play his idol because you're going home if he does.
I talked to Adam before anyway, and Adam was 100% going to play it, so I knew that he was going to play it, and basically it would come down to me or Jimmy. So now an hour before Tribal, I'm panicking, and I don't even, Shane's not even coming to our meeting, so I don't have a pitch for him.
But I kind of did it to myself. They had a meeting and I just didn't go.
The vote was gonna go normal. We decided that we were gonna follow Emily and Jimmy's plan because we wanted Adam out, or John out. We wanted one of the two of them out. 15 minutes before Tribal, I meet up with Josie and John, and John is pitching to me why he should stay, blah, 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 blah.
Basically, I kind of made the same pitch. I was I told her what I had told Josie, originally, my ideal Final Four was me, Josie, Alexis, and Shane. That was kind of my plan all along. Told that to Alexis, and basically just did everything I could to kind of throw Jimmy under the bus.
John shouldn't have known my plan. He knew who was voting for who. He knew that we were splitting. He knew everything. I was just kind of, I sat there dumbfounded. I was I don't even know what to do. Josie literally spilled our entire plan to you.
But I think Josie had other plans to keep John, so.
When I was just with Alexis, I was okay, what do you want to do? Because John brought up some good points that I think we should listen to, and I think we need to get Jimmy out. So then she called Shane, and she was okay, Shane said everyone who was gonna vote for John vote for Jimmy. So then I was okay, cool, we're gonna get Jimmy out.
And then Tribal was just very, very sketchy, because then everyone's off talking to each other, right next to me, and I was basically I was sitting next to Shane, and I kept looking at him Adam's going to play the idol. I was whispering it to him, Adam's going to play the idol, so you're picking between me or Jimmy, and Jimmy is a bigger threat.
And then that's when I started getting nervous when I saw like Adam and John, and then John started talking to Shane, and I was like, did like Shane go behind our backs and like meet up with John?
So like we were talking back and forth because I felt like I was in the middle of like, because John was just staring me down the entire tribal council, and I was just like, yeah, there's a reason you should be, but like.
But the talking was legit about whether we were gonna vote Jimmy out or we were gonna vote John out.
Yeah, I was like, this is not the way to do this, y'all. Like, they're just gonna band against us and vote one of us out at this point. Like, I wouldn't blame them. Like, but I was just like, I was just saying one thing to John and making sure I was saying the opposite basically to Alexis, where it's just like, he was just like, am I safe? Like, are you not voting for me? And I was like, I'm not gonna vote for you, like, like letting him hear what he wants to, like, and then I was just like whispering to Alexis, like, we gotta vote him out, like this is not smart, like.
I think Shane still like was not like all for the like voting out Jimmy, because then he was like whispering to Alexis, and then we all just started whispering. It was like a big whisper session.
At the whispering wall.
Yeah.
A lot of people knew I had the idol. They wanted to flush it out. And so now that I don't have it, I think it makes me less of a threat, and I think in the long run it'll help me. So I don't regret playing it at all.
I ended up voting Jimmy because at that point I couldn't sway people to go with me. I knew at that point it was too late. You know, like I tried to tribal to say, you know, Josie, like, why are we keeping him? Like, you know, and she wouldn't waver.
Finally, like, we said the Jimmy thing, and I think Shane was just like he realized that like I wasn't gonna like budge that much, because I'm pretty sure I heard him whisper to Alexis like, I don't think Josie's gonna change like her vote, so let's just do the Jimmy thing, which that kind of concerns me, because I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have like pushed too hard on like my opinion.
She's not willing to vote him out. I kind of realize that now, and that's a problem. Like,
and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think I would ever do this. Like when they do it on the show, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, but I guess it just had to be done. And Shane was like still trying to be like let's just do the original, like splitting the votes between John and Adam. And I was like, but Jimmy sees us whispering. Like,
And John talked his way out of that vote. Don't know how he did that. Like, did not expect that from Josie at all. Like
it was stupid to me. The fact that now they're having doubts again. Just kind of, it was very frustrating. But
this guy is really good. Like, he's been killing challenges. He's social. Like, he's a big threat, and people like don't recognize that. He's my biggest threat. He's been my biggest threat for a minute now. Like,
Final Four, at this point, I want Shane gone sooner rather than later, because it is very infuriating that he was kind of calling the shots with the whole thing.
Yeah, that was a mess. I regret that vote. We should have voted John out.
All right. Once again, meeting's back up for grabs. Madison, I will take it back.
I mean, I guess.
Are you gonna give it? In this challenge, you will each answer a set of questions about each other. Once everyone has completed the Google Sheet, we will get back together. We will give you like game cards with all your names on it. What you're looking for is to say the most common answer. And each time you get the question right, the person with you get a point. The person with the most points at the end wins immunity. Second most gets a clue to immunity out of. Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
First question. Who has surprised you most with their gameplay? What do you think the most common answer is? What did everyone say you think? The answer is ready. And show. Okay. See a couple of Alexis's all over the board here. A couple of Emily's. Their correct answer is Shane. So John gets a point.
Really?
that was it. I didn't know myself.
Who was the most annoying?
Oh, you're just going right into it. Man. You're just going right into it. You're going.
Yeah.
I literally have no idea who to put.
This is the worst.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Alright, show.
Everybody puts
Alright. I see a lot of Madisons, including Madison.
I know I'm annoying.
The correct answer is Madison. So Alexis, John, Madison, and Emily get a point. Emily and Madison will have one. Nothing for Josie, Shane, and Adam. Third question. Who thinks they're in control of the game right now? Very strategic question here. Alright, and show. Okay. See a lot of Shane's, a couple of Alexis's. Correct answer is Shane. So Shane by himself was correct. Alexis, Josie, and John once again. That's a point. Fourth question. Who is most likely to succeed on Real Survivor? Alright, and show. Okay. A lot of Shanes, a lot of Adams. One John, from John. Correct answer is Adam.
Let's go.
Emily, Josie, and Adam get a point. Alright. Everyone's on the board now. John's still in the lead, followed closely by Josie, Alexis, and Emily. Fifth question. Who do you trust with your life? Over 5 weeks. Who do you trust most with your life? You get an answer? And show. Okay. I see a lot of Josies and a couple Shanes. The correct answer is Josie. So Josie, Madison, Adam, and John get a point. Sixth question. Who is the biggest poser?
I know.
Uh-oh, be careful.
I don't remember why, but can you remind me what so poser is like fake?
Yeah. Everyone ready? Alright, show. Okay. We are all across the board here. I see a lot of names. The correct answer, who's the biggest poser, is Madison. So Madison gets the point again, and John gets the point.
I don't.
John!
I feel horrible.
John in the lead by 2 ahead of Josie and Madison as we pass a halfway point sort of, since it's 13 questions. Seventh question. Who is most likely to be a bitter juror? And show. Everyone says Madison except John. The correct answer is Madison. So everyone except John gets points. Okay. Who is the most attractive of the group? Let's see. Sure, everyone's wondering what the answer is for this one. Right. And show. Okay. See a lot of Johns. And Emily and Adam. The correct answer is Adam. So Shane.
I need to believe in myself, man. Let's go. I hate you, but I kind of like you.
Shane gets the point.
I need to believe in myself.
Shane, you're actually catching up.
Hey. I'm really surprised.
Alright. Ninth question. Who is the most likely to stab you in the back? Let's see. Who is bloodthirsty? Alright, show. See a couple Emilys. Madison says herself again. The correct answer is Shane. So Alexis gets the point. That's it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, y'all.
As we're moving into the 10th question of 13, John's still in the lead with 5. The lead is shortened now because Alexis, Josie, and Madison each have 4. Adam and Emily have 3, and Shane also has 3. Who is most likely to stay true to their word? Pretty quick on that one. Alright, Chuck. Everyone says Josie, except Emily. The correct answer was Alexis, so no one gets it. Alright. Who is the dark horse to win the game? I think everyone's name, basically. The correct answer is Josie. So Alexis and Emily get the point. With 2 questions left, we have a tie for first between Alexis and John. Closely followed with 4 points by Emily, Josie, and Madison, and Shane and Adam have 3 points. Who least deserves to be here?
Gosh, I have no idea. Dude, that's a horrifying question.
And show.
Right. She won.
Okay. I see a bunch of Emilys, a couple Madisons. Correct answer is Emily. Shane, Josie, Adam, and John get a point. Alright. John is in the lead by 1 with 6 points going into the final question. Alexis with 5. Adam, Emily, Madison, and Shane with 4. So therefore, Adam, Emily, Madison, and Shane are. Who is most deserving to win this game? And show. Okay, so John says Shane, Alexis says Shane, and Josie says Shane. The correct answer is Shane. So John wins immunity. Tie for second place will be Josie and Alexis. So you both will get a clue. Alright, Alexis and Josie. There you go, ladies. Well learned, coming in second. John, come get it.
Good job, John.
Well learned.
Music to
Sir. Oh god, I'm sorry. Safe at Tribal Council, 1 in 6 shot of winning this game. As for the rest of you, can't say the same. I'll see you at Tribal Council. Alright, that's it.
Challenge, I will say, the challenge, I'm very happy with the challenge because it's kind of like exposed the perceptions of people.
The challenge itself, oh, Trevor, that was a rough one. You really did us in.
And most annoying, biggest poser, and most likely to be a bitter juror. I think I voted myself most annoying, so like that didn't really surprise me. And then like once I realized that they did vote me most annoying, then I just started putting myself as voted like the negative ones, because I figured that's what they would all do. I mean, it sucked though. Like everyone else really left with their confidence boosted. But after like taking the time to think about it, like I can use that shit like to my advantage. Like they think I'm annoying, okay, like I can take a step back and annoy them less and then maybe get off their radar a little bit. Like I'm taking it as like constructive criticism at this point.
It was very interesting that a lot of people voted Josie to like be the most, even I did, but I voted her to be like the most like person you like trust your life with.
I see a lot of Josie.
It's funny because she like just flipped that last vote.
So you with the answer to who is most likely to stay true to their word. How did you feel about that?
That kills me because I've been trying so hard to do that because I don't want to lie to people. I hate lying. It makes me so nervous. It makes my hands shake. And now I'm in such a terrible position where I'm lying to a lot of people. Like, I'm lying to, at this point, everybody but Shane.
Like Shane winning the most likely to be on the road to winning whatever question that was. I'm very glad that was said, because I do think that he's now in a sense sort of calling the shots with everything, and I think with that question now that gives me a little bit more leverage with the other people, because I want Shane gone like yesterday at this point.
It was like, who do you think's gonna win the game? And it was just like all me. I was like, well, this is not a small target anymore on my back.
Like I've been thinking about this before, but it kind of made me realize like, ooh, like at some point I might have to like turn on the like Shane and Alexis alliance.
Unless Shane is doing stuff that like I haven't seen, like where? Where is his gameplay?
Because this whole time it's been like, oh yeah, like me, Shane, and Alexis. But it might, like this, I feel like the smarter way would be like me, Alexis, Madison.
I wasn't trying to come off as super strategic in the beginning, but like it's getting to a point where people like you kind of have to show your cards. Like I'm trying not to show my cards too early, but maybe I did.
So, I think we should definitely work together now.
Yeah. I had a long conversation with Adam. We getting ready to go to the movies, and I was like, we gotta talk before we go see Captain Marvel. There's just some things that are more important.
And there are 7 people left, so the majority is 4. So I think with me, you, John, and most likely Josie, or if you can get Alexis, or maybe even both, but I think that's a good route to take.
We want to work together because we are both pretty big like challenge threats, and I think we can both kind of shield each other, because if one of us gets voted out, the other one is most likely next.
I know
That's
that you
what's
and John have
important.
worked together the entire game, but like,
Yeah.
but the thing is,
He's a
he's
threat.
really he and Josie together
Are
like
a huge threat.
are a huge threat. Like they're for this next vote, they've put themselves in this really good spot.
Right now, John and Josie are the biggest threat.
Like, I trust you and Alexis probably the most out of everybody who's left. I trust John to a certain extent, but I know that he's playing just as hard as I am. Like the fact that he was able to wiggle his way out of the last vote, because the girls like wanted him gone.
We are both targets, but as long as we're not looked at as targets together,
Yeah,
if
that's the
if
thing.
we're looked at as targets together, we're screwed.
That's the
And
thing.
there's
Right
no
now
way
we're
we can
not.
get
We're,
out of
we're looked at
That's what I'm
separately,
saying.
and I think we need to
keep it that
continue
way.
acting that way, where we're like on opposite sides.
Right.
But in actuality, I never wanted to be on opposite sides. I was just trying to play strategically
And
to
keep your relationships from
with the other
early
side.
game.
Like, yeah, that was the thing for me. Was just like I'm not gun ho of just like staying with the girls the entire time. Like that's not smart. Like
Basically, I was just trying to like make sure that he wanted to play with me. Like, it's really just gonna come down to his vote. I feel like in this tribal, I don't think he knows that, but like I haven't said that, and I'm not going to. Like, I just hope that he thinks that he's with the numbers and he wants to vote with the numbers.
I trust John a lot, and I know that for at least the next couple, until he deems that I'm too big of a threat to have around, or us together are too big of a threat, I don't think he's going to be gunning for either of us. I mean, maybe more so you than me.
but I'm just gonna let you know, like John's not happy with you because he was mad that you told me about the idol and you didn't tell him. And that was something that he found out at this past vote. Like, because like I think Josie told him. Like,
So John is pissed at me for that, and I don't think he trusts me anymore, and I don't trust him, because if he doesn't trust me, I don't have a reason to trust him. I don't have a reason to believe that he will be on my side.
if the vote would have gone,
If the vote would have taken out John, you
Yeah.
probably would have
I probably
felt
would have been
more comfortable.
Yeah, like that was the thing. Now, because Josie would not vote for John. She would not do it, which is
Really interesting.
that's the thing. Like, and I thought she was really closely aligned with me, and that's where I'm like now it's like
Yeah, so now I see where you're coming from.
Both Shane and Alexis are pretty mad at Josie, because Josie would not even she wouldn't even hear out the idea of voting out John last tribal. So Alexis and Shane are pretty pissed at her.
More how
that's why I
close they
think
are. And I
that
know
you and
they're
I need
close,
to work
but-
together, and like, but the thing is like we at this point like we can act like we're just gunning for each other, right? And like when it's all said and done, we can vote with each other and become like a voting block, like you, myself, Alexis, and Madison. So, and that's where I think at this point, like you and I need to band together for this vote and make sure that we can have the 4. And like,
and I trust you more than John.
Yeah,
at this
like
point, at this point
my
in the game,
whole strategy in this game has been to keep you and Alexis in the game. Like Josie to a certain extent, but now like I know like where her line
and now
is.
that I know where John kind of lies.
Yeah, like they act like they're with us, right? But they're playing it. I feel like they're just playing it off really, really smart right now.
Honestly, the most important vote is Adam's vote now, which is really like how I don't understand. Like it's just gone like.
Who do you think Emily's closest to?
I think Emily's closest to Alexis. Alexis has
I
done
think
a really
Alexis
good
needs
job.
to work on both Madison and.
I think so too. I think
because I don't think Emily trusts either of us.
And I think I don't
think
she.
I don't
Madison
think
doesn't
she
really
would.
feel comfortable with either one of us. I don't think. It's
Probably
just,
not, but I think she's a number now, and she's very important to keep around.
Because I know like that was like the initial vote of just like we should vote, but like now that I'm even thinking about it more, it's like do we even just vote Josie out and put John by himself? Like,
yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know what's going on.
Alright, so I spoke with Shane yesterday.
Okay.
And he kind of stressed like how close he is with you.
Okay.
And he told me a couple things about how John was kind of like mad at me a little bit.
Just a
so
bit.
I was like, alright.
I talked to John for about 5 minutes, and he was, because I was with Josie, and John knew, I guess, everything, which he was definitely not supposed to know.
Yeah, and Shane was saying how pissed you were that Josie just...
I was sitting there and I was like, he was basically telling me, he was like, and you shouldn't do this, and that. And I was like, how did you have any clue I was doing any of that? I was very caught off guard because it was like 10 minutes before the vote, and I was like... And Adam basically laid out to me, he and Shane had talked, and he laid out this entire plan. He was like, okay, Shane told me he doesn't trust Josie anymore. And of course, I haven't really talked to Shane one-on-one, like, at this point. It's like, I kind of knew where Shane's head was at, but it was really hard for me to make any solid plans without... I was hoping we were on the same page. So I'm sitting here talking to Adam.
So right now, I mean... I want to work with you guys.
Okay.
I'd be down to work with like us 3, but obviously that's not majority.
It's not. I can pull Emily though.
Okay. And Shane was talking about also pulling Madison possibly.
We need 4, the 3 of us, me, Shane, and Adam. He's like, I don't want to work with John anymore. Like, I want to separate myself from him. I want to work with you and Shane. He's like, all right, like, sweet, let's do it. And he's like, is there anyone you can pull in? And I was like, easy, we'll pull Emily. Like, Emily will ride with us, especially because Emily's biggest fear on y'all's old tribe was guys overpowering. So if there's me and Emily, you and Shane, she'll be less likely to flip to Josie and Madison. Another reason I'd be worried to tell Madison, the idol clue was very specific, and I know Josie's been looking for it.
Obviously, you probably know that, I mean, John and I have worked closely this game.
Yeah.
So far, up until this point. And right now, I don't trust him. Like,
same.
Like, I don't at all. And,
that was me and Josie.
Yeah.
She was kind of
Yeah.
the person I had.
Right.
And now I'm like, yay.
So right now, John and Josie are
really tight.
They're really tight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they're a power couple right now. They can do essentially anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they're both very good talkers too. Like, they're so easy to listen to.
Yeah.
I'll text Emily. Hi, we should meet up and figure out what the heck we're doing. I love Emily to death. Like, she is my lifesaver in this game right now because all it takes is like you DM her on Instagram. You're like, hey Emily, you free? And she's like, yep. Yes. She comes in, she's down for whatever. Like, as long as we have numbers, and it has kind of saved my life multiple times now. This went much differently than we were originally hoping, and like, long story short, Josie played all of us very well. So Josie and John are much closer than we originally thought they were.
I didn't know that.
So right now, John and Josie are stupid powerful. Like that, and especially with John winning the challenge, and Josie having already just completely like botched
switching the entire game. Yeah.
I do think right now John's the biggest threat in terms of like he's
The way John got out of that vote was incredible.
I'm not gonna lie, he can talk. Like I was
Yeah.
sitting there and I was like, yeah, this makes sense until I realized that he like knew the plan, and I was like, ah.
Are you thinking Josie to try to
Yes.
get out? Okay.
I think that's
that's a good
best
If we
plan.
can't get John, I think it's best to go ahead and try to break
Right.
off one of his allies.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
Josie has already, like,
She's
I
kind
can't-
of
I
isolated
can't-
herself.
I can't believe that her and John pulled that off. That was crazy. So, Alexis and Adam I met, and all of us are kind of pissed at Josie for changing up the vote at the last minute like that. Like, she never even mentioned Jimmy at all in our little, like, discussion, or we would have been able to talk about it. But, so, like, Shane's mad at Josie. I know Alexis isn't happy with Josie. We don't really know how Madison feels, because we don't know how close they are. But, so the goal is to get Josie out.
So if we have majority, I say we're better off just leaving Madison out of
just
it.
keep it.
Just keep it between the four of us.
We don't know how close Madison is with Josie, and we don't want Madison in on this plan to have another situation like Josie where we don't, just in case that she would go and say like, oh no, Josie, they're about to vote you out.
I have a lot of faith this is going to go through solely because they don't want Josie and John in the game.
Okay, Josie and John worry me to a degree, which is why, like, I'm cool with whichever way we go, because I'm pretty sure Adam's on board with us. Emily's on board with whatever, so whichever way we go, but, like, after this, there's no turning back.
John needs to go, like, next round. Like, he needs to go. Like, and, like, if Josie won't do that,
Then we flip them, which is where it's helpful to have Adam.
for me, the most logical is to vote Josie out. And the reason for that is just Adam and Emily have nobody else really at this point. They can't. I think Adam is with me. I really do. Because the way that I talk to him.
I think Emily's with me.
I've talked to mostly everybody, and like Emily basically has been talking to Alexis, so Alexis has been trying to like make sure Emily's with her, and I've been trying to make sure that Adam's with me, and then we're just going to try to combine, and hopefully the four of us will stay together.
I had a whole conversation with him and Emily today where he was telling me how,
Because that's what he and I had a conversation about.
Yeah.
Too. Because that's what I kind of told, that was kind of my thought process with him. I was just like, who would be the one that he would be willing to vote out? I think Josie would be the one that he would be willing to pick out.
I went the same way, yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about like basically like everything that could go wrong, and she and I kind of have the same mindset.
It's frustrating because I don't want to vote Josie out because I like Josie a lot. But, like, I just don't know like where she's at. Like I don't know where her head's at.
Exactly. Because at this point, we don't trust Josie anymore. She screwed us over when she told John our entire plan. She's way closer to John than we originally thought.
This vote has been more of her like decision than mine. I've kind of just been like making sure that I'm safe because that's all I'm trying to do right now. And then like when I can get the numbers, have that security blanket, then I can start playing harder again.
Because if John hadn't won immunity, we'd just vote John out and we'd keep Josie because we wanted to go with Josie so badly.
Or I'd like Madison to be on the vote with us, and where we have 5-3.
That's not gonna happen. Madison's not on board with you. She wants to vote you out soon.
As much.
Okay, I just figured I'd tell you. That's the first thing she said when we got into that room. She was like, oh, like, by the way, I think we should get Shane out earlier than Emily. Yeah.
And if we can just make sure the four of us stay together for this vote, I honestly feel like after this vote we will be okay.
Exactly. And that's another thing. Neither Adam nor Emily are gonna go for Madison or John. Like in terms of alliance, you have a way closer bond with Adam than he does with
And
John.
you seem to be. You've been working with Emily, like, or trying to work on Emily, like, a lot.
Exactly. So me and Emily versus Emily and Emily hasn't talked to Madison. So I talked to John and Josie today.
Okay.
Okay. The vote. I'm like nervous, excited for this. But we have 4, like the 3 of us, and then are we doing like Shane?
Yeah.
Voting Shane or?
No, like the 3 of us
Like
plus
pulling
Shane are
Shane,
voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we cool pulling him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, are you good with like voting Adam?
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, like I know it's kind of the easy vote. So
Right.
I kind of figured like
Okay.
whether I was pulled in or not, like he
Yeah.
was gonna be the one to go. So
Okay.
And I definitely, yeah, like I wanted less control on this vote because I was like, I can't like be like too controlling.
but like Adam wants to vote Shane tonight.
Dang, they're going for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So insane.
I think Shane is worried about like Adam voting for him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't see Shane not going with like the
Yeah.
plan. Like,
Mhm.
okay, we're voting Adam. Like,
Yeah. So I'm hearing them out, and we devise a plan there where we're like, all right, we're getting Adam out this time.
I don't know if I can make anything happen for tonight. I think after tonight, most likely Adam will go. I think after that, I'm debating because I can try to make like a big move and try to take Shane out. Because especially after the last challenge, like I think it's more obvious that Shane is kind of calling the shots, and it's so frustrating because he wins the question of most likely to be on his way to winning, and then he also wins the question of most likely to stab you in the back. So I'm like, why does he have so much power in the game? So I think that's probably the approach I'm going to take. And at that point, like I know I'm like the next to go, so I'm gonna be like talking to everyone. I will throw everyone under the bus. Like I don't care.
I'm starting to see Shane as being like the leader of it. Like I feel like he's almost being perceived as like the one kind of running the show.
Like I know John's gonna be gunning for me at some point. Like he's acting like he's with me right now, but you know, I hope that he votes the way that he's planning that they want to vote.
So then I go and I meet up with Quad Squad. So me, Josie, Madison, and Shane meet up. Right before Shane gets there, Madison drops this, guys, we can't take Shane. Shane's gotta go. I'm like, god dang. Why? I'm like, god dang it. No, you're screwing everything up. So I'm like, alright. I was like, alright, yeah, I just kind of nodded along. I was like, yep, we gotta get him out of here, alright.
So this vote, we're hoping Adam, cross our fingers for it. And then Shane, and then we're gonna ride with the girls.
Who would you say you feel like you're closest with in this game right now?
Probably Josie, because we did have to like make that decision with Amanda, and like we have kind of been trusting each other since the very beginning. Whereas like I haven't been like working with Alexis as long. So yeah, I'd probably say Josie.
So there's 4 of us here. I think the 4 of us can collectively agree that the next biggest threat, I feel like, doesn't have immunity is Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the 4 of us are solid, we got numbers. I say we don't repeat last time.
Mm-hmm.
That was so stressful.
Yeah.
Are you like cool with that though? Because I know that like you're friends with him.
I'm cool with that.
and then Alexis was like, oh, like, what are we thinking? I'm assuming Adam or Emily, and I'm leaning towards Adam. And then Shane said he was on board with going for Adam.
Kind of makes me nervous that Adam and Shane are as close as they are. But I mean, I guess he was down to vote him out the first time, so why wouldn't you be down now?
Just wondering, like, do you think John would stick with you over Adam? Like, that's the part for me that like, I'm not. Like, I know that he's kind of in the same position where he's a little bit more vulnerable, but like,
Yeah.
more or less.
Like
that's
he
the
has
part.
seemed, I don't know, like what vibe you got, but
Uh-huh.
he seemed genuine. Like when he's like
As long
talked
as
to
he,
me
yeah,
and
as long
stuff.
as I think we make sure he doesn't think he's on the bottom, we're fine.
Because he kind of made it like when he was talking to us, he was like I'm like trying to distance myself from Adam. Like I'm not
Yeah, 'cause
trying
he
to
was pissed
be
at
like,
Adam for not telling him about the idol.
Yeah.
like working with him and stuff. So I feel like he would be with us more. I don't know if it was the last tribal or the tribal before that, like we like all talked about, like someone was like, yeah, like we know that the idol is like in a tree in the dirt or something like that. So I was like, I mean, if no one knew about that clue, then like that could give them something to like base off of, you know? Like they could be like, oh, let me just check all the trees.
In a tree by Forbes, where Amanda told me it
kudos to
was.
them.
Like if they had time.
If they go check every tree on campus.
Yeah.
Bro, at that point, I'm like, yep, give it to him. Like,
Right.
that's good on you.
Well
man.
played, well
Like,
played.
you did good.
Right after the challenge, I put the clue to the hidden immunity idol in the chat with me, Shane, and Alexis, which like isn't smart of me, like for like retrieving the idol purposes, because the more people that know about it, like I'm sure Shane went and looked like immediately. But for my like alliance wise, like socially, I felt like it was important to do just because after tribal I was like, oh my god, I don't want them to be nervous about me, like me and John teaming up.
Okay, so I'm looking for the idol. I was in the 24-hour room, and then I saw Shane walk by, so I was like, ugh, I can't go outside yet because I need to wait a little bit. So I'm hoping, because it said it's like, it insinuated that it's like in the dirt or something, but I'm not really trying to dig because I don't want to, disrespect my campus like that. Oh my god. There are so many trees.
We have our 2 members of our jury, Carson and Jimmy, voted out at the last tribal council. So, Adam,
Sir.
you played your idol at the last tribal council and didn't receive any votes.
I don't remember that.
Do you regret that decision?
Yes and no. It was obviously good to have, but like when you have it and people know you have it, then they're scary. You know? Feel me, Trevor? Picking up what I'm putting down.
And Shane, the last question was who most deserves to win, and you were the answer. That must have felt good, right?
I mean, like, it was cool. Like, I appreciate it, guys, but also that it's like...
John, you are the only person here that got votes last tribal council. How important was winning immunity?
Oh, it was very important because I knew at the last tribal that it was between Adam and I knew Adam had his idol, so I knew like the only thing I could do was try to like throw the votes towards Jimmy, and I know it was like very, very close. So I knew I was getting votes, but I'm glad I stuck around.
Mm-hmm. So keeping on the topic of last tribal and how chaotic it was, Shane, you seem like you're in the center of all the whispering. Both like physically and metaphorically. Has that indecision returned tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, we're still like, this game has picked up like crazy. I mean, everybody here who's made it to the jury and the last 7 of us like are playing part. Like, I don't think anybody here is like the least deserving here because every single person is playing a game. And like, it's really tricky because I don't know what people are thinking. I just hope that the relationships I built through the game, like, last.
Josie, do you agree with Shane that there's a lot more indecision tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like, we're getting to the point of the game where everyone's like, oh, like, the numbers are getting low, like, the challenge we had was a very, like, strategic challenge, like, like, all the answers were very, like, ooh, like, interesting. So yeah, I feel like everyone's just thinking of like all the different possible outcomes.
Alexis, the person to your left played an idol last time. Do you think someone could play another one, make it twice in a row?
Shoot, I really hope not. That would make things so
AirPods, chill out.
complicated. Oh man, no, honestly, someone could play the idol. Dude, I don't know. Idols are difficult.
All right, John, you have immunity. You keeping it tonight?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay, didn't think I had to ask. Everyone else is fair game. It's time to vote. Shane, you're up first.
Good luck.
I just hope this works. I have no clue.
Sorry, Josie, but I just can't trust you after last tribal.
By far the hardest vote that I've had to cast, but at this point you and I are a sinking ship, so I kind of had to do this, and hopefully this takes me farther, but good luck.
Oh my god, I still don't know how I'm gonna vote. Isn't that fun?
Alright, I'll try the votes. Alright. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will have to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Adam. Adam. It's 2 votes Adam. Josie. Josie. It's 2 votes Adam, 2 votes Josie. Josie. It's 3 votes Josie, 2 votes Adam. 8th person voted out and the 3rd member of our jury. Josie. Josie, give me your torch.
That's fine.
Josie, such a cool case. Not gonna go. Well, 3rd child counts after the merge, 3rd blindside. It's common now. Alright, see you next challenge.
Bye, have a nice.
Next time on Survivor. 1 person gets lucky, 1 person gets blindsided, and 1 person can't do math.
I don't know how to subtract on paper.
Okay, what?
I don't know how to subtract on paper.
Okay, I just got voted out. I'm pretty, like, shocked, because I guess, you know, I was feeling good, so that's probably when I should have known, like, dang, like, I should watch out, but they played a great game, and I really loved them all, so it was really fun, and, yeah, I'm sad, it's over, but, like, I'll be on the jury, and hopefully, like, I'll pick the right winner, so, yeah.